Nubby, nubby, nubby boy. Nubby, nubby, nubby boy. Nubby, 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 nubby. Nubby, 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 nubby. Nubby, nubby, nubby boy. Nubby, nubby, nubby boy. Nubby, nubby, nubby. Nubby, nubby, nubby. Nubby, nubby, nubby boy. Nubby, nubby, nubby boy. Nubby, nubby, nubby boy. Nubby, 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 nubby boy. Nubby, nubby, nubby boy. Nubby, 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 nubby. Nubby, 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 nubby. Nubby, nubby, nubby boy. Nubby, nubby, nubby boy. Nubby, 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 nubby. Nubby, nubby boy.
Alright, my lovers, long time no see and all that jazz. It's that man again. I've been away for a while. Wow, I haven't been away, that sounds dramatic. I've been working like a goddamn dog for the last couple of months, coming up to Christmas and all that. But now, as of today, December 23rd, I'm on holiday. I'm not working until January. So, hopefully I can get a few things out the door, starting with X3 and specifically the new DLC that came out a couple of days ago, on the 15th I believe, called Albion Prelude from our friends at Egosoft. Now X3, a bit of a weird game, out only on the PC. It pretty much epitomises PC gaming in that it's ultra detailed, ultra complicated, and really hard to get into. Such a steep learning curve. It's like a single player version of EVE Online. So, as you can see from the start screen here, it's kind of a space sim, but the freest form space sim you can imagine. So, we'll start a new game here quickly. So we have all these various sort of scenarios we can start ourselves in. We will go for, how about, don't want to make it too complicated, otherwise you'll be lost already. Say a humble merchant. And here we go. Basically, you are in your ship, and that is pretty much the only guidance you have to go by. I mean, to start off with, I think there's a guy who will show you the ropes. I will skip the intro cutscene there, it's not terribly important. It doesn't make a huge amount of sense. Basically, though, Albion Prelude is sort of like the latest game-changing event in the X3 universe. At the end of... It wasn't the Balaji missions, was it? I think it was at the end of Terran Conflict. Oh, mercy. This game's had several expansions. I've played most of them, they kind of meld into one. But basically, you make it back to Earth, and shit's been going down on Earth.
Argon,
oh, here we go.
Flight School, Buster.
Yeah, stuff's been going bad on Earth, and you sort of finally get in touch with them and they save you. But since then, relations have soured with the Earth. Because it's you made this technology, you're no good, all that sort of jazz, and we're now at war. But, I mean, we're at war, terrible stuff and all that jazz, but it doesn't affect us here in our spaceship, not one bit. It basically means we can go and sort the whole war thing out, we can do that if we want, but if we want to, we can just, right now, we're at the start of the game, we can do whatever we want already. So, let's have a quick look. We'll pull up our sector map here, just to see what's going on. We've got a few, basically, if you look around the screen here on the map, we've got all these industries you can see here listed on the right. The green ships are mine. Being a trader, I get a Mercury, which is a big sort of hauler ship, mainly used for trading, and the Discoverer, that's more of a scouting ship. So what we'll do first, we will tell our Discoverer to go and dock somewhere. We don't want him floating around in space. Yep, that's the only sector I know. We're telling him just to go and dock at the trading station. So that's it, we're on our own. Now then, let's see. Where to begin? I mean, you can do whatever you want. We can go and fight the war if we want, or, because we're not really equipped, we're traders, instead we can do a bit of trading. So, out comes the sector map. Here is where we go. Basically, it's it's being a merchant. You want to buy some stuff at a cheap price and sell it at a higher price. So I've got all the industries all dotted around the sector. We'll have a look at this ore mine, pull up its details. Okay, it's got fairly good stock. We want one with higher stock because then we get higher profits when we sell it back to someone else. So cloth rhymes. Who could we sell cloth to? So I'm not normally a trader.
This production
No, nothing in there. Kahuna Bakery, out of stock. So okay, here we go. Right, we'll look at this ore mine. So it produces ore. We can go and buy that ore. It requires energy cells to create that ore, so you can see it's quite low in energy cells. So if we see somewhere that sells energy cells, we can go and buy some and sell it to them for a profit. However, we will concentrate on that ore because I know this weapons factory uses ore to make its stuff. So it's fairly low in stock, we can see there. So what we will do is we will say, right, autopilot, go dock at that mine. And so the autopilot is active. It will do its thing. I'm in a big old slow tanker, so it's going to take its time. Literally, if I waited for this ship to go and dock and autopilot and do its thing, you can see we're lining up. Nope, that's not even it. We're still slowly turning. Where's the factory? It's only 10... No, how far away is it? It's over that way. So we could sit here, and I could talk to you nicely for about 10 to 15 minutes, which would be entertaining, I'm sure you'll agree, but not great for gameplay. So what we can do, we have the ability to use CETA, like compressed time. So I can hit the J key. You can see on the bottom our time is now sped up by 6 times, which, I know, we're about to dock already. We were quite close, in fact. So you can do this all manually. You can sort of go and line up on your vector and slowly come into the ore mine and park nicely, but I just throw it on autopilot and then I can speed up time. So let's do a bit of docking. Not in that way, not that sort of docking. Don't Google that, whatever you do. So here we are, we're docked.
On behalf of our President and Senator, the Argon Federation welcomes you aboard.
You're too kind. So let's have a look. Yeah, they're over half stock, so one quantity of ore will cost us 91 credits. So basically, we can pretty much buy up. We've only started with 10,000 credits, so we can buy 108, which is fine. So we've got 108. And we bought it. I suppose the
gained recognition
for trading and spending money in the economy, and then that improves my faction reputation with the Argon, because basically it's an entirely empty map. I'll pull up a later save game of one of my sort of main later, and you can see it's a giant sector map. If you were to fly manually from one side all the way to the other, it would take you, even with accelerated time, about 2 hours. Without accelerated time, wow, about 20 hours to fly from one end of the universe to the other. It would take a bit of and that's sort of providing you don't get attacked on the way. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's concentrate on this first trade. So this weapons factory here is a bit low on ore, so we will go and dock with him, shall we? What I'll do before I start the fast time, I will change it so that it speeds up time by 10 times, not 6 times the amount, so we get there a little bit quicker. So to what end? What end are we doing this trading here? For a bit of fun, I suppose. We're only staying within the same sector at the moment, but I mean, there's the whole universe out there, and so I mean, we could have probably got more money if we would have taken that ore to another sector to say a factory that sort of needed the ore more and was willing to pay a higher price. A new feature in Albion Prelude is the stock market. You can go and play the stock market if you want, and it's all just buying shares, and it's quite a sort of detailed system. I've seen people on forums saying it's a bit easy. They can sort of manipulate it to get vast amounts of money. But it seems detailed enough that if you just sort of try and game it and min-max it and pour huge amounts of money into, say, one resource, you'll effectively crash the market on that resource, because you'll sort of oversaturate the market and supply would sort of over-encompass demand, and you'll just pour your money down the drain. So anyhow, let's deal with our ore. So if you remember, we bought that all for 92 per sort of quantity, and it's selling here for, they'll buy it off us for 172. So we'll sell all of that. And so see, now we have 18,000. We've doubled our money in one trade. So that's quite nice. So there we go. So if we're carrying on the whole trading thing, we can look back at our sector map, see if there's any bargains going on at the moment. Space fuel, no. That's sort of drugs. I don't normally deal in drugs. Yes. I think we'd have to go to another sector, which we can do. You can see at the top, bottom, left and right, we have the north, east, south and west gates, which will take us to another sector. So we can see, shall we go south to Argon Prime? Let's go there. See a bit more traffic there. So yeah, to what ends do we do this? Do we sort of trade, or do we fight, or do we do anything? I mean, you can see I was gaining reputation there, and if you get enough reputation, I mean, I could go and buy, if I had the money, I could sort of sell this big tanker ship, and I could then sell that and then buy a fighter ship if I wanted to, or save up some money and buy a bigger tanker vessel if I wanted to. And you can get all various equipment. I could expand the cargo bay, improve the engines, get better scanners, and get even sort of some quite complicated like trade software for the ships. Well, what you can do, I showed it sort of briefly. I'll show it a bit more in detail now. If I go to my property, so we've got that Discoverer there. It's not doing anything. A smaller ship, faster ship. I can go into the orders and see what I can do with it. Not a huge. I could make him my wingman. I could get him to fly around me and protect me a wee bit. I don't need to in this area of space. Or you can get them to sort of. You can get jump drives later in the game. They're a bit pricey, and you can jump them to different sectors, which makes trading in these sort of big tankers a lot easier. Or even you could have them scout in the galaxy for good deals. But some of the software you can get, especially for the tankers, is the trade software, where you can actually program, sort of like other people flying your ships, you can program them to sort of go and fly the galaxy and buy and sell stuff for you, and then ultimately you get the profits from that. Or, taking that even further, even more endgame, I mean, we've got all our stations here in this sector. You can own those stations, you can build them yourself, if you've got the money. They're not very cheap, but if you sort of do the trading thing for a bit, get more money, or become a war hero, like I did in the other save that I'll show you in a second, then yeah, you get the money, you get the respect, and then you get the stations, and then you can build another station next to it and join them together for a whole complex of stations. You can even build sort of big factories where you can research and develop ships and whatnot. And I mean, this game is elite on steroids. I mean, all the combat's there as well. I'll show you a bit of that when we load up another save in a second. But I'll just go through this gate. There we go. I think we're going to Argon Prime. Should be quite a busy sector. Here we go. Take the autopilot off. I'm using an Xbox 360 control pad for this at the moment. I find it quite handy with the shooting. But there we go, same sort of setup again. We've got our gates, we've got all our stations. We can go and fly to one of them. What's that one there?
Argon Arena.
Argon Arena?
Autopilot activated.
Is that a ship? I don't think I've ever seen that before. That's a big ass ship, isn't it? He's going to go through that gate. What we do, we get a bit closer and we're because I mean, any of the ships we can
You are talking to the
radio them.
interaction system. Make your request.
Yeah, it's a big ass ship. Let's have a chat to the captain.
You require assistance?
Yeah, and then you can ask him, where's the shipyard? I know it's here already.
I'm obliged to assist you.
Oh,
Autopilot.
well, F you, knobhead. No respect these days. Right. But no, I mean, for a game that's X3, when was it released? Was it 2007? 2006? It's had several iterations, several expansion packs, and there's been sort of little... This is the vanilla game. No mods have been installed. But you can get all manner of mods for sort of to help you out with the business, or to create other business ventures for yourself, or bounty hunters, or anything like. But then there's also the graphic overhauls as well. I may do that in my sort of holiday time. I may see how good I can make it look. So at the moment we can't really see any of the sector because we haven't been here before. But if I speed up time and go that way, we can we discover all the other factories in here. But yes, that's the slow life of a trader. Once you get over 100 grand and you can afford a jump drive and expand your cargo bay and make this ship a bit faster, it sort of exponentially speeds up. But then you've got to... It's not just about trying to make the quick buck, because that will ultimately hamstring you. You've got to try and stimulate the economy as well. Oh, the radar on this ship sucks to begin with. I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up a save. Trying to recall what I was doing in my save game.
Saving is only possible
Yes,
when
yes,
docked
yes,
at
yes,
a
yes.
station or by using salvage insurance.
Was it this save? So I'm just trying to remember. 15, my Centaur. I've got a save file here. I believe it was that one. And in fact, by strange coincidence, we're pretty much in the same sector of space that we left now. But it's about... I've put about 20 hours or so, probably more, this week into... this expansion, and the save doesn't carry over from the last game, which is a bit of a shame. I had a bit of an empire going on last time, but it's good to start off again.
On behalf of our President and Senator, the Argon Federation is honored to welcome you aboard.
Now, what was I going to do? I was going to buy this trading software for 500,000. It's a bit dear. I've just bought another space station, so I've only got 1 million credits on me at the moment. That's going to be half of them gone.
Trade Command software MK3 installed.
Thank you all. But also, when you're in a station, you can also do the whole trading thing like that we've seen, or we've got bartering, where it's just other dudes flying the universe looking to sell some shit. We won't bother with that. Right. I need to get back to my home base. But I mean, if we look at my property now, this is my property. All this stuff. I mean, I've got my laser towers there protecting one of my factories. In fact, this factory, my complex hub. We'll go and see that in a second. But first, I think I need some energy cells to power my jump drive to get home. Balls. I ran out. I need to buy about 300. Right, can we see? See that this is only part of the map. All these sort of sectors, each sector is pretty big. But then that's only a little bit, because then it sort of jumps over here, and I've got all of this. This is where my home base is, Argon Sector M148. Go over this way as well. I believe I've poked around a bit in the south. There's about a dozen more sectors down there, I believe, and then there's more up above us as well. But yeah, there's plenty of... I've only discovered about, I don't know, 1/5 of the universe, and it's already... I can only sort of use my jump drive to jump from one place to... from one side to the other once before running out of energy. Anyway, before I get ahead of myself, I need to find a solar... a solar plant. See, I haven't been through these. I've only jumped through these sectors before when I was being attacked. I need a solar power plant. Is there one on Ringo Moon? Sorry, it's terribly entertaining. I'm acutely aware. Right. We'll go south quickly. Orb out. Yeah, there's bound to be a solar plant there. So again, same old.
All ships, this is Argon Command. We are about to make a push for asteroid belt. Get to it.
No, I'm not going to. See, in the save, I started the military career, in which I was trying to keep back the Terran, the Earth invasion, and that's still going on. And it's got all the story missions and all that you can do. It's not entirely free form. You can just do what you want, but there are story missions as well, with sort of various starting points and various end points. But it's very much like the open worldy game, where once you've done the story missions, you're just left to your own devices and can do what you want. So hopefully, otherwise this is going to be hugely embarrassing, we will find a solar plant in here somewhere. Then I can jump in my Centaur, my big warship, and we can do a bit of combat.
Entering system or belt.
It's like kind of a meteor place. Let's go south. What we got? I see it. Weapons factories. So you spend most of your game time sped up in your seater, otherwise it takes forever to do anything. Because space, as it turns out, is big. Really big. I mean, you think it might be a long way down the road to the chemist, but space, that's just peanuts. Thank you, Mr. Douglas Adams. Jesus Christ, I want some solar cells. So also, while we're here, I'll slow down time a second. You can see these factories here are ships. A solar power plant. Fantastic. That's what I was looking at. We'll dock at that. You can see it's got a little green symbol there, just to the top right of its sort of icon there. Basically, that means he has a mission for me if I want to take it on. So once we get there and by ourselves, we'll have a chat with whoever that is. That green symbol means, I think, he wants me to build a space station for him, in which he'll fully recompensate me for any money I'd spend, with a bit of a bonus on top. But building a space station is a bit of a ball ache, because you go to the shipyard, you can buy a space station that big, but then what the fuck do you do with it? It's massive. You can't tow it around with a crappy little ship. You've got to fly around and you've got to find a mammoth or like a very big ship, and you've got to sort of have a chat to him, get him on the radio and say, right, can you give me a hand? I need something moving. And it's not just like a dirty old mattress in the back of a transit van. You've got to go and hire him, tell him to go to the shipyard, buy your station. It's then collapsed and put in the back of his big ass ship, and then you take it wherever you want to put it out. Anyhow, oh Christ, you can see by the stock he's hardly got any solar cells in. He's got enough. I'm going to bloody pay top dollar for him, because basically the lower stock he's got, the more I make you pay. Piss and rip off merchants. He saw me coming. Anyhow, I said we're going to the station comms. We'll have a chat with this matey here.
Got something to say, pilot?
You wanted me to do something.
I have a job that's perfect for you. I've been looking for someone to build me a station. You got the gear?
Off you got.
Sending through the data now. You'll walk through this, no problem. Would you be interested?
So yeah, cloud-based southwest, that's up to the northwest. Experience subcontractor required, a station must be built next to the beacon we placed. So they want me to build them an argon shield production facility, medium-sized, 200 megajoule. That'd be fine if I had the 5 million credits to sort of buy the station in the first place. I mean, I would get like $1.5 million profit from that little transaction, but I've got the money to buy it up front at the moment because I've just built 2 of my own stations. So never mind, we'll forget about her, and we will jump back to my own set of stations. Let's just hope to sweet baby Jesus I've got enough to get me home. Yeah, can I jump back there? I can. Fantastic. Right. Let's jump back home. I was going to be well arsey if I didn't have enough cells then to get home.
40, 50%, 60, 70, 80, 90, jumping.
So yes, you may notice the lack of action like that. I mean, it's when you're fighting and doing all that jazz, which hopefully I'll show you in a second, it can get pretty sort of heated. You've got to deal with sort of like the energy of your weapons and your shields and the amount they can be sort of recharged per second, and try and not get in too deep with the combat, because if you just go in sort of like all guns blazing.
Argon sector M148.
There's my station over there, you can see it's in green, so we're going dock at that. Set it as a target, autopilot, and speed up time. So yeah, if you go in too fast, then your shields just get eaten away before they can recharge, and you'll be out of weapon energy, and you'll just be knackered and you end up dead. So you can see I've got myself an ore mine there and a crystal fabrication centre, with the ultimate plan to put maybe say an advanced satellite factory on the other, sort of like on the end of that, or maybe even a solar power plant on the end of that, which would then sort of be a closed loop, because if you imagine the solar plant produces solar cells, energy cells, but then requires crystals. My crystal plant requires energy cells and silicon and energy, but then produces silicon cells. No, crystal. Sorry, I'm like Nana Moon and get myself confused. But then my silicon mine will produce silicon, which will then, so it's like a closed loop. I can just skim off the top and sell any excess I have, but then the station is pretty much self-sustaining. So it doesn't make a huge amount of sense, but okay.
A complex hub.
But then we've got my station parameters, the buying and selling. I'm not sure how we're doing, what my stock levels are like.
Cells are the unified
I'm really low. I'm really low on that. High on silicon wafers, but better on crystals. So yeah, when I've stopped recording this video, I'm gonna have to go and supply my space station a little bit just to get it going. But basically, if I can set the buy and sell prices myself, and then I get all these other ships in the area, all these dotted around here, they'll do it for me, because they'll be making money off it, because they'll be doing the trading, the whole merchant thing that I started off doing to make the money. So yeah, it all kind of feeds itself. You've got to rely on other people. That's how you've got to stimulate the market. It sounds hugely boring. Here's my Centaur. Let's get in that. This is my warship. We'll get into that. Okay, and we will also do a bit of a freight swap. We'll pull some stuff off that Mercury I was just flying, because I stripped out the jump drive in it just to get me to that place over there. Jump drive. I'll be having that.
Transferred.
Did I swap anything else? The triplex scanner. I'll be having that.
Transferred.
We'll let him have them because I can spot a good deal, and we'll leave. I'll have to set this up again later where yeah, he's got the trade command software Mark 3, which means he can become a sector trader. Right, energy cells, that's what I want. I need some energy cells to get myself around. So we'll have some of them. 150 should get me a little ways. So yes, now I'm in my Centaur warship. It took me quite a while to buy this. It's can I get a better view of this ship somehow? Not really. But yeah, massive warship which has it's got side cannons, a back cannon, and a huge lethal amount of cannons on the front, which will just nail pretty much anything. It's sort of like a medium-sized corvette warship. So any fighters that are flapping around me, I can zap them out of the air pretty easily, and my shields will just eat up whatever they're throwing at me. So let's go to treasure chest sector. Looks like there's a bit of a bit of action there. We'll fly up there. See if we can do our bit for the war.
20, 30,
so a bit of combat, a bit of shooties, and I think that'll do us. You've pretty much got the measure of X3.
70,
Fantastic game though, if you really like the whole slow burn thing,
jumping.
which I do. I like sort of like very sort of low and sustained payoff. Sometimes I do like my simulation games. Okay,
Entering system. Treasure
so my
chest.
guns are shooting already.
Update regarding the recent developments in the
I'm shooting
nuclear
at someone
sector.
without even knowing
Our
it.
defenses in Omicron Leary are under attack.
Okay,
Give them a hand.
so enemy there. I'll get the target on him.
ATF. Thor.
I need a little ship so we can sort of soften them up with our big guns on the front. Or I've got my turrets on the side. They would just do their thing without me even sort of looking at him. There, shoot at him. But yeah, not the best sort of nimble combat ship, this one. It's more of a just slowly veer towards the combat and doing some mischief and just tank all their damage with my shields. There you go, he's going to go down soon if I just give him a bit of... But no, this probably makes the combat look a lot easier than it is. It's more akin to, say, TIE Fighter. And that it is...
Systems down! Life support failing!
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have shot at me first then, should you? Goodbye.
Argon. Nova. ATF. Valkyrie.
There's a fighter ship doing his thing. I'm just slow. We'll let him deal with them.
No aim. Argon. Rapid response. Cerberus.
So yes, I think that'll do us. This is X3. I think the even the slogan for the game itself is trade, fight, explore, which is pretty much is what it is. It's very open world, open-ended, and wow, with all the mods and whatnot, fairly open source as well. It's all the sort of modding scene is actively encouraged by Egosoft themselves. I mean, quite a few of the mods have been adopted by them officially and included in their sort of patches and whatnot. But if you see it going cheap, I would grab at least the vanilla, just the X3 game. Plenty of hours of gameplay if you're into that sort of business. I must have put a good 300 hours into all this. It is only single player, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, there's if you wanted to go more sort of MMO-y, there's always EVE Online, which is kind of like this, but not really direct action. It's more mouse clicks and it's more MMO-like. But yeah, if you do get a bit lonely, put on a bit of the Midlife Gamer podcast. That'll sort of make you feel a bit more sociable. So that'll do it. Have a good Christmas, one and all, and I'm sure I'll see you again soon, my lovers. Alright, bye.